Hey there, it's Joe. I've been asked a question about a million times, and it goes similar to this. What's the best armor? What's the best weapon? How do I deal the most damage? And in general, it doesn't matter. You don't need the best weapon. In fact, I'm going to show you here in just a second that the weapon really doesn't matter when you have the stats to back it up. The armor, the set bonus from the armor is nice, but you don't need it. None of them really matter. You could wear enchanted leather. And if you want to say, okay, well, you have like a billion enchants on it, I have 34 levels of protection. Boots have protection 4, and these three all have protection 10. So 34 total levels, completely doable in survival. You can do it in hardcore. No cheats, no nothing. With the skill tree, you can get 34. You can actually get up to 40 on them because you can get protection 4 on all pieces. 34 is where it caps out. 35 won't do anything extra for you. Now, I have the best gems in the armors. That's all I have in the armors. So, attack on your headpiece, and then you have HP on the body, legs, boots. Each of them are reforged with the plus 8 max health. That's the only stat that matters for melee characters. There might be stuff that you want for magic. I don't know. I don't use it, so, ask somebody else. As far as like weapons and things like that go, you might say, okay, well, you have a bow. I'm not even going to show you a bow yet. What does my base hand damage do? It deals 430 to 640 damage. That's a hit. Okay? I can go, okay, well, wooden pickaxe. It does 2 damage. What's that? 430 to 640 damage. Wooden sword. 4. What do you know? 430 to 640. Aquaflora. 430 to 640, but faster. What about Harbinger? That's a 26 damage sword. I went from 2 on a pickaxe to 26. 430 to 640. Well, Frostfang's new, and it does a lot of damage, right? 430 to 640. Absolute Equilibrium. Two-handed, 44 base damage. Ooh. Oh, yeah, 430 to 640. It's almost like the stats of the weapon don't matter. Plus, if you're going just by DPS, not by single hit damage, this is slow. This is fast. Now, axe I have upgraded. I don't have enchantments in it. It does have reforges for crit chance, crit damage. It has gems in it for crit chance, crit damage. The same with the bow. It has detonate because I was just showing off that you could make the explosion happen without arrows. But it has crit chance, crit damage, and gems for that same thing. I can back up now. Bow. What's that, 11,000? Yeah, 11,000 damage. Okay. Axe. What's that, 47 to 125? Seeing a lot of 83s, so we'll say 83 is about the middle. Okay? Now, blow your mind here. 120 to 180. Throw that away. It's garbage. $125 is the max? 120 is the min? But get this. Just like punching, where you can do a million punches, you can do that with a bow. Crazy, huh? So if you're going for like what's the most DPS you could do, Maybe bows. Oh, but here's the weird thing. So, like, say we have this axe in our offhand, right? And we're punching. And we're doing our same damage of like 420 to 640. Okay? Well, if we swap and we do the bow... Oh. Huh. We're doing 120 to 180,000. Neato, right? We can add that to a pickaxe. Oh, look at that. 120 to 180. 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 Oh, 430 to 640. Huh. Interesting. It's almost like we say that two-handed weapons are bad. Huh. So, no two-handed weapons. Gotcha. But what about if we stack two weapons? So you have like the bow that has all this extra crit chance and crit damage, and an axe that has all this crit chance and crit damage. Well, that's gotta be better, right? Yes, it does. 508 to 735, 750 something, right? It's slow though. This is as fast as it's gonna go. It's a lot of damage, but is it more than... Well, I gotta get closer. But is it more than doing that? I don't know. I don't think it matters too much because we're going to get back to the very end point here of, does the damage matter? Most of the enemies that you fight, even the high-level end bosses, are going to be below 300,000 HP. 300,000 sounds like a lot, but you just saw that you can do with your hands 120 to 180. Okay? Even if it has 300, 2 to 3 hits are going to kill it, regardless, with your bare hand. So, should you have a wooden axe? And for a dummy, for doing the biggest single hit damage, yes, that is the best. Axe in your main, bow in your offhand. If you're going magic, it's probably axe and bow. But if you are going for any kind of character that is going to be doing melee out in a bunch of mobs, in a boss fight, anything like that, something might have vengeance, you should never use an axe. You should never use your bare hand, and you should never use a bow. You should always use a sword, sweeping edge, lifesteal. That is an end game sword. So you can still do a lot of damage. It has lifesteal that will keep you alive in combination with protection, lifesteal. Those two things will keep you alive through any mob that has vengeance. Fel King has the highest. I will show you here in just a second. You can kill Fel King. You can hit him. You will not die. If you have lifesteal, you will not die. Okay? So, that matters. Those enchantments matter. Sweeping Edge clears a bunch of enemies. That is one of the reasons why Aquaflora is so good. Its passive of swipe through attacks through objects that are in the way. Its right click is a 20-something hit attack. Right? So you have something like that that deals a lot of damage to a bunch of enemies right in front of you. It is a sword, so it can get lifesteal. You can have sweeping edge on it. You can also get chain lightning on it, which will deal even more damage to the attackers around it. Basically, your weapon should be a one-handed sword. Two-handed, why is two-handed bad? Well, we just talked about it. It's because it doesn't register the offhand. Two-handed, bad. One-handed, good. Aquaflora, good. Wooden sword, pretty good. It's mid-game. It's not end-game by any means, but it's mid-game. Aquaflora, just faster. And it's got the street sweeper, I call it. You get your machine gun, your shotgun attack, right? It's the big burst right in front of you. Okay, so we're going to take our Talisman of Challenge. We're going to pop a Cisco up. Alright, so he's going to whoop us for a little bit. We're just going to sit here and swing our sword until eventually we'll hit him, and we're done. Okay? He's dead. We'll take our Tainted Talisman. Where are you at? Fine. Just because we have a lot of enemies. Now we start doing something like this. You can basically just hold the button, spin in a circle. Telking's dead. We could do it with the wooden sword. I got tired of it. Leather armor, wear protection, put gems in it. Curios, you're going to reforge for crit chance. Doesn't even matter if you put gems in them. Bow, and yeah, your bow and should have on your sword this type of setup. Crit chance, crit damage. If you're still in the early game and you want drops, put an Ender Surge gem in for more looting and scavenger. Reroll for lifesteal, and another big one is going to be Loot Pinata, and you will be an endgame build. Your armor itself doesn't matter. You can get better armor because there are better set bonuses, but leather, I didn't die. I didn't come close to dying. Leather armor, didn't come close to dying. Damage, I dealt decent damage. It wasn't amazing because I was using just one set of boosted weapon, but I could have had, like a wooden axe level on the Aquaflora or a wooden sword, and it would have been insane. It would have been one hit. So really, your armor that you wear, are you ready for the Wither? Are you ready for endgame? I don't know. Are you wearing leather? Okay, then you're probably ready for it then. Unless you didn't do anything else. If you didn't get your curios taken care of. And there's two whole screens. All of these can have stats on them. In fact, right here, this one gives minus 100% armor. So I had 0 armor going into the fight. So leather is literally the same as netherite at this point. 0 armor. But reforge for crit chance. Reforge your curios, your Aether curios. Get your gear to have HP, and the head has attack damage. Make a bow if you want to deal damage. Make a shield if you're doing a challenge run and the damage you take matters. But in general, the gear you wear doesn't matter. You can get some better picks, but it doesn't really matter. The weapon you use, again, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over. It doesn't matter. Wear whatever you want. Wear what looks good. Do you think leather? Do you think leather looks good? I don't. I don't. But it doesn't matter. You could wear anything you want, and it will be fine. $120,000 to $180,000 damage with the wooden sword. Nothing special on the sword. Bow fully upgraded. Curios fully upgraded. Well, reforged. Not even fully upgraded. Anyways, I'm rambling. I've been rambling for a while. Don't use two-handed weapons unless you want to. Who cares? I mean, like I showed, you can just melee with a bow. Just don't shoot the bow. Arrows are stupid. Don't ever... That's the one takeaway. Don't ever use an arrow. Right? Arrows go in the trash. Bows are melee now. Do whatever you want. Have fun. The game's only as hard as you make it.